in for a board with a set of legs, please. Thank you very much.
I mean, so my background is mostly kind of wood and rope, so flyman and carpenter, those kind of areas, which I've always really enjoyed. I now manage an automation team, but I really like that. I find that really, really interesting.
Stage management. I did, when I was training, do a bit of stage management and did one show role whilst I was training as an ASM, which I quite enjoyed.
I wouldn't, it is the answer. I've always said, I dabbled in sound right at the beginning of my career, but actually wanted to do stage management. Once in stage management, that was it. It suits my skill set. It's what I love doing.
I quite like everything in its place and stuff like that. So my stage management would like that sort of thing, I think.
I couldn't work in another department watching other people stage manage, so I'd be a nightmare. So yeah, if I didn't do stage management, I would probably go and work somewhere else using similar skill sets.
I think coming from a lighting background, you're quite often not that connected to the cast, especially when I was on tour. It sometimes takes 4 or 5 venues before you actually get any time with the cast, and then they suddenly realise that you're not a local. So it'd be nice to actually have more of a relationship with the whole team straight away, which I think I'd enjoy.
Stage management, because they always leave early. That's not true.
Most of them. No.
But they have to do rehearsals.
Yeah, I couldn't do rehearsals.
Oh.
I've had a secret I've been keeping from Christopher for a long time.
What?
When I first started, I wanted to do sound. I really don't want to do sound anymore.
I don't know that I do want to work in another department.
I would quite fancy myself as a fly person.
A fly person?
Yeah. I kind of think it'd be quite cool just to fly something. And I've never flown, ever.
You get calluses on your hands.
Careful.
You do have a good strong handshake, I'll give you that.
Oh, that's good.
I'm happy doing what I've done. I've done lots of different things in theatre throughout the years. If I had to pick a department where I think I was happiest and almost comfortable in, then I can think back to every single time I've ever been on a fly floor. I used to love that job.
I would quite happily go and work in lighting. I like the fact that as a lighting technician, you get to be that little bit more creative.
What about you?
Me? I'm not going to say electrics.
You want to be an electric?
I know you want to say electrics. I started out as an electrician, and then I realised after working with them for several months, it was really boring.
I quite like working LX. I'd like to learn more about programming a lighting board at some point. What it was like when I entered the business and what it is now is two totally different things. Yeah, I think I'd quite like to do a bit of LX.
That was quite an easy one, sound. I always kind of I've worked some freelance sound design. I quite enjoy it. I'd like to be every so often I get a chance to go and do that. So I think that would be the one that I could go and do.
I suppose if I had to choose something, it might be video.
I enjoyed rigging, but yeah, I don't fancy climbing up loads of stuff nowadays.
It's still quite a new thing, and I think there's still a lot of innovation there.
There's a prop department at the National Theatre that makes some of the most incredible things I've ever seen, and I find that really intriguing. So maybe I'd wander over that way and have a look and have a play. There's
a lot of exploration still being done, by people, by designers to figure out exactly how to incorporate this fairly relatively new media into theatre and finding a place for it.
It's like just fiddling with really cool stuff, so maybe a little bit of that would be really nice.
That, in fact, you just turn up with a USB stick and drink tea all day, I think.
I've been lucky enough to work in quite a lot of departments because I've been a tech swing before, so I have actually worked in quite a lot of the departments before. So I've done a little bit of automation, a bit of sound.
I'm quite lucky. In my time in the industry, I've worked across a lot of departments. I've worked electrics, sound, stage and automation?
I've done stage management. So I've been able to get a little taste of a lot of the things. I've never done follow spotting or costumes or wigs.
And I focus on stage, but I like being able to go off to the others. And I don't think it's a case of working for one other department that I would recommend to everyone else. It's a case of try and gain an understanding of all of the other departments.
But I've had a little taste of all of them before, and I think that's helped me to realise what direction I want to be heading in. So I think, and also as a stage manager, it's good to be able to understand where people are coming from and what their priorities are.
We do have to work together. It's the only way the show is going to work. So if you can understand why they're having the difficulties they're having, then you can actually help them and they can help you, and you can work together to a solution.
Because everybody will have their own different priorities and how you pull the whole thing together.
I'd probably work in design. I kind of always liked, when I was starting my studies at university, the kind of set design and the lighting designs, producing those designs and taking creatives through their designs and getting it down on paper was kind of a nice feeling. You kind of got a lot from visualizing people's ideas and getting them down onto plans and things.
For automation, I've worked through most other technical departments over the years.
Visualize their thoughts and ideas. I think that's a really fun and interesting department. I'd get a lot out of that, I think.
Automation didn't really exist when I first started in the regional theatres because they didn't have the money for it. But I think it's probably one of the more interesting things that I like making things work.
I mean, I hate to say it, but I don't think I'd like to work in any other department because I love what I do. I love my wig department, and that's all I can really see myself doing.
Genuinely, at the moment, yeah, I'm pretty happy where I am. Thank you.
Automation for me. I like tinkering with things. I like operating them,
It's like
making things move.
Yeah, a crossover between electrics and stage.
Yeah, I like oil. I like being covered in hydraulic fluid.
I remember that.